All right, let's dive in. Today we're talking about something I bet you have in your fridge right now. The cucumber.
Cucumbers.
Yeah, you know those green crunchy things?
Oh, yeah, of course. What about them?
Well, one of our awesome listeners sent in this YouTube video, and it's all about the supposed health benefits of cucumbers.
Oh, cool. What kind of video?
It's a Portuguese video called Você não imagina o que o pepino pode fazer.
Whoa,
Yep,
Portuguese.
it's by Angela Xavier, and honestly, it got us curious. Like, what is the real deal with cucumbers?
So we're going to deep dive into a Portuguese YouTube video. I'm in. My Portuguese is a little rusty, but I'm always up for a challenge, especially when it comes to food.
That's why you're here.
Yeah.
So basically, Angela's like super into cucumbers in this video.
Really? Like, what does she say?
Well, first she talks about how cucumbers are packed with nutrients.
Okay, that's true. They have a lot of water.
Right. And then she goes on and on about all these amazing benefits like weight loss and hydration and heart health
Okay.
and glowing skin.
Interesting.
Oh, and get this. She even claims cucumbers can boost sexual performance.
Whoa, hold on. Cucumbers are like nature's Viagra now.
That's what we got to unpack that claim right away. Is there any science behind that?
Well, she mentions nitric oxide. You know, it's involved in vasodilation, like widening blood vessels.
Right.
And nitric oxide does play a role in sexual function, especially for men.
Okay, so there's a connection, but come on, is it really that straightforward?
Not quite. I mean, cucumbers do have some compounds that can lead to nitric oxide production, but the amount you would need to eat to actually see any kind of effect, well, let's just say you'd be eating cucumbers all day long.
So maybe not the sexiest strategy. Okay, let's move on. What about some of her other claims? She talks about potassium and blood pressure.
Yeah, she mentions a study that found eating more potassium can lower blood pressure for people with hypertension. And she's not wrong. Potassium is important. It really does help regulate blood pressure. But here's the thing. Cucumbers, yeah, they have potassium, but they're not exactly a top source compared to other foods.
So like a few slices of cucumber in my salad won't magically lower my blood pressure.
Exactly. It's all about the big picture. Like food works together with our bodies. It's rarely just one single ingredient. It's a miracle cure, you know?
Right. It's all about balance. Okay, what about Angela's claims about weight loss and digestion? Any truth to those?
Let's start with digestion.
Okay.
Cucumbers are high in fiber, especially a type called pectin, which is soluble in water. So pectin can actually help soften stool and make things, move along more regularly, which is good for your gut.
Okay, that makes sense. And cucumbers are mostly water, right?
Exactly. So that helps keep you hydrated, which is also super important for good digestion.
All right, so score 1 for cucumbers in the digestion department. But what about weight loss? Are they a secret weapon for shedding pounds?
Well, that's where things get a little tricky.
How so?
Because, yes, that high water and fiber content can help you feel full,
Right.
which in turn might lead to eating less overall.
Okay.
But there's actually no scientific evidence to say that cucumbers specifically have any fat-burning properties.
So basically, munching on cucumbers might help you feel fuller and avoid overeating, but they're not going to magically melt away fat.
Exactly. Weight loss is complex. It's influenced by so many factors, diet, exercise, genetics, the whole shebang.
Right. It's a recurring theme here. Cucumbers can be a part of a healthy lifestyle, but they're not a miracle worker.
Exactly.
Okay, so what about glowing skin? Angela talks about that too. Does science back that up at all?
Well, she is right about one thing. Hydration is key for healthy skin.
Right.
Keeping your skin hydrated keeps it elastic and gives it that youthful glow. And cucumbers, being mostly water, can definitely contribute to your overall hydration.
Okay, makes sense.
Plus, they're full of antioxidants, like vitamin C, which help protect your skin from damage.
So the idea that cucumbers help with healthy skin isn't totally crazy.
Not completely, no, but it seems like the real benefits come from actually eating them, not just putting slices on your face.
Interesting. So you're saying that eating a cucumber is better for my skin than a fancy spa treatment with cucumber slices on my eyes?
Well, I wouldn't skip the spa treatments entirely, but you get the idea. It's about how our bodies process and use those nutrients.
Okay, I'm seeing a pattern here, but I got to ask, what's the final verdict on all these claims? Are cucumbers as powerful as Angela suggests?
That's a good question.
Should we be stocking up on cucumbers or what?
Well, I think it's safe to say cucumbers have a lot going for them. They're refreshing, hydrating, and they can definitely be a part of a healthy diet. But let's be realistic here. They're not a miracle cure.
So no superhuman strength or instant weight loss from these green, crunchy things. Bummer. But I gotta say, I have been snacking on cucumbers more lately, and I do feel more hydrated. It's like a little boost of coolness from the inside out.
There you go. It's all about finding those little changes that make you feel good. And speaking of hydration, you know what's interesting about cucumbers?
What's that?
They actually contain electrolytes.
Wait, electrolytes, like the stuff in sports drinks. I thought that was just like Gatorade and stuff.
Right. You don't normally think of cucumbers as an electrolyte powerhouse, but they do have small amounts of minerals like potassium, magnesium, and sodium, which are all electrolytes.
So does that mean cucumber water is basically like a natural sports drink?
Hold on. While cucumbers do offer some electrolytes, they're not going to replace an actual electrolyte drink, especially after a tough workout.
Okay, so maybe not a one-to-one swap, but still, pretty cool that cucumbers have electrolytes in the first place. It's like nature's little hydration secret.
Exactly. And speaking of secrets, did you know there are actually tons of different kinds of cucumbers?
Wait, really? I thought a cucumber was just a cucumber.
Huh. There's definitely more to the cucumber world than meets the eye. There are slicing cucumbers, pickling cucumbers, English cucumbers. Each
Yeah.
one has its own unique characteristics and flavor.
Whoa, my mind is blown. So, like, what's the difference between a slicing cucumber and a pickling cucumber?
Well, slicing cucumbers are those classic long green cucumbers you usually see at the store.
Okay.
They have thin skin and a mild, refreshing flavor, so they're great for salads and just snacking on.
All right, that makes sense. What about those pickling cucumbers? Are they just tiny slicing cucumbers that are destined for a jar of brine?
Not quite. Pickling cucumbers are usually smaller, and they have bumpy skin with, like, more pronounced spines.
Okay.
They also have more water content, which makes them perfect for pickling because they absorb the brine better.
Fascinating. So it's not just about size. It's about their structure and how they react to the pickling process.
You got it. And then you've got English cucumbers, which are those long, skinny cucumbers often sold wrapped in plastic. They have thinner skin and milder, almost seedless flesh. They're great for fancy sandwiches or delicate salads.
Oh, okay. So it's like the fancy Rolls-Royce of cucumbers.
Huh, exactly. And the cool thing is, each variety has its own nutritional profile, and you can use them for different things in the kitchen.
Wow. Who knew the humble cucumber had so much depth? I'm starting to see why our listener was so intrigued. But I got to ask, where do all these different cucumbers come from? Like, what's their origin story?
Well, believe it or not, cucumbers have been around for thousands of years.
Wow, really?
Yeah, they actually originated in India and eventually spread all over the world, adapting to different climates and cuisines along the way.
Wow, from India to my salad bowl.
Yeah.
It's amazing how food connects us across cultures and time.
It really is. And speaking of connecting, cucumbers have a long history of being used in traditional medicine and beauty practices.
Oh yeah, like those cucumber face mask pictures. But tell me, is there any real science behind those beauty rituals?
Well, as we talked about before, cucumbers are super hydrating, which is great for your skin. But they also have ascorbic acid and caffeic acid, both of which can help soothe irritated skin.
So those cucumber slices on puffy eyes are not just a spa gimmick, there's actual science behind it.
Exactly. And some cultures believe that eating cucumbers can cool down your body and reduce inflammation from the inside out.
Wow, cucumbers really are multi-talented, like the Swiss Army knife of the produce aisle. But before we get too carried away with cucumber worship, are there any downsides to eating them?
Well, like any food, moderation is key. If you eat way too many cucumbers, you might end up with some digestive issues, like bloating and gas.
Right, too much of a good thing. And what about those compounds that can lead to nitric oxide? Any risks with those?
Well, it's important to remember those compounds are only in cucumbers in very small amounts. And nitric oxide is good in moderation, but too much can cause problems like low blood pressure or headaches.
Okay, so it's all about finding that sweet spot. Enjoying cucumbers as part of a balanced diet without going overboard.
You got it.
Okay, and speaking of balance, let's go back to Angela's video for a second, talk about another claim. Cucumbers being good for the heart.
Oh, right. Is there any actual evidence to support that?
That's what I want to know.
Well, cucumbers are naturally low in calories, fat, and cholesterol. And those are all good things for your heart. Plus, they have potassium, which we talked about before, that can help regulate blood pressure.
Okay, so they check a lot of the boxes for heart-healthy eating.
Mm-hmm.
But are there any specific compounds in cucumbers that, directly benefit the heart?
Actually, yes. Cucumbers contain a compound called cucurbitacin.
Cucurbitacin.
Yeah, it's been studied for its potential to protect the heart. Some research even suggests cucurbitacin could lower cholesterol and reduce the risk of atherosclerosis, which is when your arteries harden.
Wow, so cucumbers might be secretly working hard to keep our hearts healthy.
It seems that way. And here's another interesting tidbit. Cucumbers have a type of fiber called lignin,
Okay.
and lignin has been linked to a reduced risk of certain cancers, like colon cancer.
Wait, cancer-fighting cucumbers? That's amazing. It's like these unassuming vegetables are packed with superpowers.
It really is remarkable. But it's important to remember, as with any health claim, more research is needed to fully understand the benefits.
Right, gotta look at the bigger picture, not just get swept up in the hype. But still, it's pretty exciting to think about all these potential benefits hiding in plain sight.
I know, right? It just goes to show that even the most familiar foods can have surprising secrets. And speaking of surprises, did you know that you can use cucumbers for some pretty unexpected things?
Oh, like what? I'm all ears.
Well, for one thing, did you know you can polish shoes with cucumber peels?
Wait, what? Cucumber peels for shoe shining. That's a new one.
It sounds weird, but it actually works. The natural oils in the peels can help buck out scuffs and make your leather shoes shiny again. Plus, it's way more eco-friendly than regular shoe polish.
Wow, that's a great tip. I am definitely trying that. What other cucumber hacks do you have up your sleeve?
Well, you can also use cucumbers as a natural deodorizer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can put cucumber slices in the fridge to absorb odors or even rub them on your hands to get rid of strong smells like garlic or onion.
Okay, that is actually pretty genius.
Yeah.
I'm always looking for natural ways to freshen things up. Any other surprising cucumber uses I should know about?
Let me see. Oh, if you're ever dealing with a squeaky door hinge, try rubbing a slice of cucumber on it. The oils in the cucumber can work as a lubricant and quiet the squeak.
No way. Cucumbers are like the ultimate DIY tool. I'm starting to think there's nothing these little green guys can't do.
Huh. They're definitely more versatile than people think. But you know what I find most fascinating about all this? It really shows how important it is to look beyond the surface and appreciate even the most ordinary things.
That's a great point. It's so easy to take things for granted, especially something as common as a cucumber. But when we take the time to really examine something, we often discover a whole world of wonder.
Exactly. And that's what makes this deep dive so rewarding. We're not just learning about cucumbers, we're expanding our perspectives and getting curious about the world around us.
Well said. This conversation has definitely made me more curious about cucumbers. I'm looking at these crunchy green guys in a whole new light.
Me too. And you know what? This whole deep dive into cucumbers has also got me thinking about how important it is to be responsible about where we get our produce.
Oh yeah, that's a great point. Where our food comes from and how it's grown has a huge impact on our health and the environment.
Absolutely. So when you're choosing cucumbers, it's a good idea to go for organic whenever possible. That way you avoid those harmful pesticides and herbicides.
Great advice. What about supporting local farmers? Is that a good way to make sure we're getting fresh, high-quality cucumbers?
Definitely. Farmers markets are a great place to find locally grown seasonal cucumbers. Plus, you can often chat with the farmers themselves and learn more about how they grow their produce.
That's a fantastic idea. It's all about connecting with the source of our food and making choices that are good for our health and the planet.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And you know, this deep dive has really opened my eyes to just how diverse and versatile cucumbers are. It makes me wonder what other culinary adventures are out there waiting for us.
Me too. I'm feeling inspired to get creative in the kitchen and explore all the different ways to enjoy these crunchy green wonders.
That's the spirit. And remember, dear listener, keep exploring the world of food. With curiosity and an open mind, you never know what delicious discoveries await.
That sounds good. All right, well, we are going to take a quick break, and then we'll be right back to discuss some of the tastiest ways to use cucumbers in the kitchen. Stay tuned.
I think it's safe to say cucumbers have a lot going for them.
Yeah,
They're refreshing, hydrating.
and full of nutrients.
Right. They can absolutely be part of a healthy diet. But, you know, let's be real.
What do you mean?
They're not a miracle cure.
So no superhuman strength
No.
or instant weight loss?
Nope. No magic bullets here.
Bummer. Although, I have to say, I've been snacking on cucumbers more lately, and I do feel more hydrated. It's like a little boost of coolness from the inside out.
There you go, see? It's
Yeah.
all about those small changes that make you feel good.
Right.
And speaking of hydration, you know what's interesting about cucumbers?
Mm.
They actually have electrolytes.
Wait, electrolytes? Like in sports drinks?
Yeah.
I thought that was just like Gatorade and stuff.
Right. You don't usually think of cucumbers and electrolytes together, but they do have those minerals like potassium, magnesium, sodium. All electrolytes.
So is cucumber water basically like a natural sports drink then?
Not quite. Hold your horses.
Okay.
They do offer some electrolytes, it's true, but they're not going to replace a real electrolyte drink, especially if you've just had a super intense workout.
Okay, so maybe not a total swap, but still pretty neat that cucumbers have electrolytes in the first place.
Exactly.
It's like nature's little hydration secret.
I like that. And speaking of secrets, did you know there are actually all sorts of different kinds of cucumbers?
Really? I just thought a cucumber was a cucumber.
Huh. There's more to the cucumber world than meets the eye, my friend.
Okay, like what?
Well, there are slicing cucumbers, pickling cucumbers, English cucumbers,
Yeah.
each with its own, quirks and flavors.
Whoa, my mind is blown. Okay, so like, what's the difference between a slicing cucumber and a pickling cucumber?
Okay, so slicing cucumbers, those are your classic long green guys you see at the store, right?
Right.
Thin skin, mild flavor, very refreshing, perfect for salads or just snacking.
Got it. What about the pickling ones?
Pickling cucumbers, they're usually smaller, they have bumpy skin,
Okay.
and they have more spines.
Spines, like a cactus.
Huh, kind of, more like little bumps.
Yeah.
And they're great for pickling because they have a higher water content, so they absorb that brine better.
Fascinating. So
Okay.
it's not just about the size, it's about how they're structured.
You got it. And then you have English cucumbers. They're long and slender, usually sold wrapped in plastic. Thinner skin, milder flavor, almost seedless.
Oh, fancy.
Right, like the Rolls-Royce of cucumbers.
Uh.
And each one, has its own nutritional profile. You can use them for different things.
Wow, who knew? The humble cucumber, so much depth. I'm starting to see why our listener was so curious, but I got to ask, where do they all come from? What's their origin story?
Believe it or not, cucumbers have been cultivated for thousands of years.
No way.
Yeah. They originated in India.
India. Wow.
Yep, and then they spread throughout the world, adapting to all these different climates, different culinary traditions.
Wow, from India to my salad bowl. That's amazing.
Right. Food is such a connector. It connects us across cultures and time.
It really is. And you know what else is interesting?
What's that?
Cucumbers have been used in traditional medicine and beauty for a long time,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
like those cucumber face mask pictures.
Yeah.
But is there any real science behind those beauty treatments?
Well, we already talked about how cucumbers are super hydrating. That's
Right.
great for your skin. But they also have ascorbic acid and caffeic acid, which are both anti-inflammatory. They can help calm irritated skin.
So those cucumber slices on puffy eyes, that's not just a spa thing.
Nope, there's real science there.
Wow.
And in some cultures, they believe eating cucumbers can cool the body down, reduce inflammation from the inside out.
The cucumbers are like a multi-tool, the Swiss Army knife of produce. But before we get too carried away, are there any downsides to eating cucumbers?
Well, like with anything, moderation is key.
Okay.
You eat a ton of cucumbers, you might have some digestive issues, bloating, gas, that kind of thing.
Right. Too much of a good thing.
Right, exactly.
What about those nitric oxide compounds? Any risks with those?
It's good to remember those compounds are only in cucumbers in very small amounts. And nitric oxide is good, but too much can cause problems like low blood pressure or headaches.
Got it. So enjoy in moderation.
Exactly.
Find that sweet spot.
Yes.
Okay, so speaking of balance, let's go back to Angela's video for a second. She talked about cucumbers being good for the heart.
Oh, right. Is there any science to support that?
That's what I'm wondering.
Well, cucumbers are naturally low in calories, fat, and cholesterol, all good things for your heart. And we know they have potassium, helps regulate blood pressure.
Right. So they check a lot of the boxes for heart-healthy eating. But are there any specific compounds in cucumbers that, directly benefit the heart?
Actually, yes. They have a compound called cucurbitacin.
Cucurbitacin.
Yeah, it's been studied for its potential heart protective effects. Some research suggests it could lower cholesterol levels and reduce the risk of atherosclerosis.
Atherosclerosis.
Yeah, it's when your arteries harden.
Got it. Wow, so cucumbers might actually be working hard behind the scenes to keep our hearts healthy.
It seems that way. And here's another cool thing. Cucumbers contain a type of fiber called lignin,
Okay.
and lignin has been linked to a reduced risk of certain cancers, including colon cancer.
Wait, cancer-fighting cucumbers? That's amazing. They're like these unassuming little vegetables packed with superpowers.
It is pretty remarkable, but, more research is needed to really understand the benefits, like with any health claim.
All right, of course, always good to keep that in mind. But still, It's exciting to think about these potential benefits.
I agree. It goes to show that even the most familiar foods can have these surprising secrets.
Totally.
And speaking of surprises, did you know there are some pretty unexpected ways to use cucumbers?
Oh, like what?
Well, for one thing, you can actually polish shoes with cucumber peels.
Wait, what? Cucumber peels for shoe shining. That's a new one.
Sounds strange, but it works. The natural oils in the peels can buff out scuffs and make leather shoes all shiny again. Plus, it's way more eco-friendly than regular shoe polish.
Wow, that is a great tip. I'm going to try that. What other cucumber hacks do you have?
Well, you can also use cucumbers as a natural deodorizer.
Oh, really? How?
You can put slices in your fridge to absorb odors, or even rub them on your hands to get rid of strong smells like garlic or onion.
Okay, that's genius. I'm always trying to find natural ways to freshen things up. What else? Any other cucumber uses?
Let's see. Oh, if you have a squeaky door hinge, try rubbing a slice of cucumber on it. The oils can act as a natural lubricant to quiet that squeak.
No way. Cucumbers are like the ultimate DIY tool. I'm convinced there's nothing they can't do.
They're definitely more versatile than most people think. But you know what I find so fascinating about all this? It just highlights the importance of looking beyond the surface, appreciating even the most commonplace things.
I love that. It's so easy to take things for granted, especially something like a cucumber. But when you really take the time to examine something, you often find a whole world of wonder.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what makes this whole deep dive so rewarding. We're not just learning about cucumbers, we're expanding our perspectives, getting curious about the world around us.
Well said. I'm looking at these crunchy green guys in a whole new light now.
Me too. And you know what? All this cucumber talk has gotten me thinking about how important it is to get our produce responsibly.
Oh yeah, for sure. Where our food comes from and how it's grown, that has a huge impact on our health and the environment.
Absolutely. So when you're choosing cucumbers, try to opt for organic ones whenever you can. You avoid those harmful pesticides and herbicides that way.
Good advice. And what about supporting local farmers?
Definitely. Farmers markets are a great place to find locally grown seasonal cucumbers. You can often even chat with the farmers directly, learn about their growing practices.
Love that. Connecting with the source of our food.
Yeah.
It's about making informed choices, choices that support both our health and the planet.
Couldn't have said it better. This whole deep dive has really opened my eyes to just how amazing cucumbers are.
Right.
So diverse, so versatile. It makes me wonder what other culinary adventures are out there.
Me too. I'm feeling so inspired to get creative in the kitchen, explore all the different ways to enjoy cucumbers.
That's the spirit. And remember, dear listener, keep exploring the world of food. Stay curious, stay open-minded. You never know what delicious discoveries await.
Wow, I am seriously impressed with cucumbers now.
Yeah.
Who knew they were so versatile?
They really are.
I'm ready to ditch all my other stuff and just use cucumbers for everything. My shoe polish, my air freshener.
Maybe not everything.
Okay. But still, it is pretty amazing how many uses they have.
For sure. And you know what we haven't even talked about yet?
What's that?
All the different ways you can prepare them.
Oh, right. We've been so focused on all the sciencey stuff and the history, we haven't even gotten to the food part yet.
Well, let's fix that. What's your
Yeah.
favorite way to eat cucumbers?
Honestly, I'm pretty basic. I love them sliced up in a salad or just, with a little sprinkle of salt. But I'm always up for trying new things.
I hear you. Sometimes simple is best, but cucumbers can be surprisingly versatile in the kitchen if you're looking to branch out.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What are some more creative ways to use them?
Well, have you ever tried cucumber soup?
Cucumber soup.
Yeah, it's super refreshing, perfect for a hot day.
Huh. That actually sounds really good. What's it like?
It's usually made with blended cucumbers, yogurt, and some fresh herbs like dill and mint. It's creamy, tangy, and super refreshing.
Okay, I'm adding that to my list. What else?
Another interesting way to use them is in cocktails.
White cocktails, like with alcohol.
Exactly. Cucumber adds a nice, cool, refreshing element to drinks. Especially gin and vodka. A classic cucumber gimlet is always a winner.
Ooh, a cucumber gimlet. Fancy. I might need to try my hand at mixology.
It's easier than you think. And if you want something non-alcoholic, cucumber water is always a good option. It's simple, delicious, keeps you hydrated.
Right. We talked about all those hydration benefits before, but honestly, there's nothing better than a nice tall glass of cucumber water on a hot day.
I agree. You can even get fancy with it and add other fruits and herbs, lemon, lime, mint, ginger.
Ooh, so many possibilities. I'm ready to step up my hydration game.
I love it. And this whole cucumber cocktail and infused water thing, it really just goes to show how globally influential cucumbers are in cuisine.
Oh, tell me more. How do different cultures use cucumbers?
Well, for example, in Greek cuisine, cucumbers are a staple ingredient in tzatziki sauce.
Tzatziki. Oh my God, I love tzatziki.
Right.
I never even realized cucumbers were a key part of it.
They are. And in Indian cuisine, they're often used in raitas. Those are yogurt-based side dishes. They help cool things down when you're eating spicy curries.
So they're like a culinary chameleon. They adapt to all these different flavors and traditions.
Exactly. And in some cultures, they even pickle or ferment cucumbers to create unique flavors and textures. Like in Korea, their kimchi often has fermented cucumbers, along with other veggies like cabbage and radishes.
Wow, cucumbers really are a global food. It's amazing how this one vegetable is used all around the world.
It really is. This whole deep dive has really been a celebration of the cucumber in all its forms. We've covered its science, its history, how it's used in cooking. It's like we peeled back the layers of this simple veggie and found a whole world of complexity and wonder.
I couldn't have said it better myself. Yeah. And to our listener who sent in that Portuguese video, thank you for sparking this amazing journey into the world of cucumbers. We hope you're feeling just as inspired and enlightened as we are.
Absolutely. And dear listener, remember, next time you grab a cucumber, take a moment to appreciate it, all the amazing things it has to offer.
Until next time, keep exploring and keep those taste buds happy.